my homage to the gem of the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Dhamma. The Dhamma is my refuge every day. May my homage to the gem of the Supreme Sangha. The Sangha is my refuge every day. May my homage to the Supreme Triple Gem. The Triple Gem is my refuge every day. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gacchantu devata. Saddhammang munirajas sunantu sagga mokkhadan. Dhammasavana kalo ayang bhadanta. Dhammasavana kalo ayang bhadanta. Dhammasavana kalo ayang bhadanta. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tas bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Honor to the Supreme Buddha, the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. Meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends. Now you all are going to listen to sublime Dhamma expounded by the fully enlightened One. The Supreme Buddhas delivered Dhamma for the beings, I mean especially humans and gods, to have a pleasurable life in terms of mundane level and in terms of supramundane level, and finally attaining the final goal, that is Nibbana. In relation to the mundane level lives, we have to have some kind of factors which are essential in completing our day-to-day life. Now in this regard, mainly at present, people have to face various problems in relation to family life, especially household life, in marriage. Therefore, I would like to explicate to you how to select a partner. How to select a partner, that is a long process for you to continue in your day-to-day life. Therefore, in relation to this aspect, the Supreme Buddha delivered a very important Dhamma sermon called Nakula Pitu Discourse. Nakula Pitu Discourse. Therefore, this was delivered to the person called Nakula Pitu, and there were two persons at that time, Upasaka and Upasika, called Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita. They were very, very strong, and especially they were very beloved lovers. They always loved each other. Nakula Pita, he loved his wife with utmost devotion and affection, and also Nakula Mata loved his husband with utmost affection. One day they went to see the Supreme Buddha, and they asked, "Oh Venerable Sir, if I want to once again meet in our next life as lovers, what is the what is the process that we have to undergo? What is the kind of procedure that we have to maintain in that regard?" Now, in this case, one may tend to think a Supreme Buddha, whether the Supreme Buddha would answer such question. because Supreme Buddhas are born to this world, appeared in the world, not to help others, not to lead others to go in the sansaric life again and again. The Supreme Buddhas appeared in the world in order to put an end to this sansaric life, to teach others. But the Buddha was very kind to those lovers. The Buddha sympathetic. Buddha was sympathetic towards these two persons, this couple, and he, the Supreme Buddha, advised them, if you want to meet again in the samsara, in the next life, as lovers, there is a methodology. There is a methodology that you have to undertake. You have to practice. There are some factors that you have to fulfill. These are the factors. What are the factors that Buddha explicated to them? Now, why I am explaining this discourse? Why I am explaining these factors today? Because present day family faces encounters various problems, because within the family there is something like fire. It always burning. This family today is burning due to some problems between husband and wife. But if we practice this advice given by the Supreme Buddha, if we follow these advices given by the Supreme Buddha, especially in the beginning, then beginning means when we select a person as a spouse, as our husband or wife. When we select the person, we have to follow these principles. There are 4 principles that we have to follow. What is the first principle? The first principle Buddha said to that couple is, if you practice what is called unshakable confidence in both of you, that is the first factor that we have to fulfill in order to meet in the next birth as lovers. If both the persons have similar confidence in the Supreme Buddha, that is a factor that they have to meet again in the next life as lovers. So now you have to remember, in selecting a person for your partner in your long-term journey of family life, you first and foremost select a person who has unshakable confidence towards the Supreme Buddha. In other words, that particular person must have the confidence in the omniscience or sabbanyuta jnana, or the enlightenment of the Buddha. Now that is the major factor that one may have to have as a proper partner. Therefore, that is the first factor, unshakable confidence in the Supreme Buddha. Saddha, or equal saddha, sama saddha. Now both the persons must have equal confidence, sama saddha. Now secondly, Buddha explicated, you have to have sama sila, that is equal observing of sil, equal observing of sil. For example, 5 precepts. Now these days so many family problems take place due to what is called you are not confident in the other person. You have no confidence in the other person. That is a major factor. You are not satisfied with other person's, what is called behavior. You have suspicion. In other words, you have suspicion. You have suspicion in the husband. You have suspicion in the wife. That is why so many problems crop up in the family. But if you practice sila, then no problems may arise, because husband knows my wife is she practices sila, and wife knows my husband practices sila. Therefore, I don't believe, even if anybody tells any wrong thing regarding my husband or regarding my wife, because I personally know my husband is a good person, my wife is a good person. We both practice sila. So therefore, that is why Buddha said the second factor, very important factor, is samasila. Now in this regard, I remember a very important Jataka story, Sadhu Sila Jataka, or born story, birth story. So at that time, especially this occurred in Savatthi city, a Brahmin had 4 daughters. He wanted to give them in marriage. Then 4 persons came in search of these daughters. One person is a very handsome young fellow. Other one is some old fellow. Other one is high in family. Other one is a pious person, virtuous person. Then he wanted to select the correct person for his daughters, to give them in marriage. Then he went to the Supreme Buddha and asked the question, Supreme Buddha, I have 4 daughters. I want to give them in marriage. 4 persons have come in order to get them in marriage. These are the 4 persons. Who is the most suitable person to give my daughters in marriage? Then Buddha said, at that time there was a story in early days, but now it has closed due to birth, rebirth, and like that Buddha explicated. Then that particular Brahmin said, please explain to me or tell me that story. Then Buddha explicated, at that time in Varanasi, in that city, there was a Brahmin. He had 4 daughters. The same story. So at that time there was a Acharya called Disapamok, and who teaches a famous one, and he went to, this Brahmin went to this Brahmin Disapamok to get to know who is the correct person to give his daughters in marriage. In the same manner, at present, 4 persons have come to get them in marriage, like a very handsome young person, and some old person, and a high caste person, and a pious person or virtuous person. Then finally, the Disapamok Acharya, the teacher, he selected pious person is the most suitable person, because he will not do bad thing and other ones are not sure. So finally he is the most suitable person, pious person, virtuous person. So in that manner, Dhamma friends, meritorious devotees, this virtue and what is called the character, the good character, is very important. Therefore, samasaddha, first factor, samasaddha, equal unshakable confidence in the Supreme Buddha. Second one, equal virtue, samasila, if the person is virtuous, that family may not have problems as such. It can lead appropriately without any problem, especially peacefully, harmoniously. This harmony is endangered due to the fact that there is no virtue in two persons. Today so many problems arise due to that factor, because people have not confident in the other person. They are not, the husband always suspicious. Husband always is suspicious about the wife. Wife is always suspicious about the husband. This is the problem, in many families. But if they are quite confident, quite sure, other partner is practicing sila, then there is no problem. That is why Buddha mentioned the second factor is sila. And thirdly, samachaga. Samachaga means equal charity. Now in many families, people, husband likes to offer things, give them in dana, but wife doesn't. Sometimes wife likes to give dana, the husband doesn't like to. There are so many controversial issues in families. These things are quite discernible in present day world. Therefore, so many examples are there. Personally, I have so many examples like that. In some families, husband likes to offer things. Husband is generous, but wife is stingy. In some families, wife is generous, husband is stingy. In some families, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, they are stingy or they are generous. So, but if all are equal in giving, then no problem, because they become good persons in doing merits always. No controversial issues in that family in doing a pinkama. But otherwise, always there are controversial issues. One is like to give, other one become the opposite person. He or she opposes. Therefore, meritorious devotees, if both the persons are equal in charity, generosity, if both are generous, then no problem. That is the third factor that would be very important in selecting a person, and that would help them to be lovers in the next birth too. And the final one, the Buddha said, is wisdom, equal wisdom. Both the husband and the wife should have wisdom. Wisdom is the highest thing in the world. Wisdom is the highest thing in the world, because wisdom takes you to the highest level of your mind. That is completely eradication of the craving, tanha, and there is not another birth. There will not be a next birth then. The birth is ended up. Then you are completely you freed from this sansaric life because of this panya. Panyaya parisujjati. The wisdom is the one which purifies you. Purification comes from wisdom. Panya is a weapon. Panya udena. It is a weapon. So therefore Buddha very many occasions emphasizes and appreciates about panya. Panyavan tassayan dhammo, nayan dhammo duppanyasa. This Dhamma is for the wise not for the fool. So therefore, wisdom is the greatest thing in the world. Therefore, if the couple, this husband and wife, possess wisdom in that family, no problems. They can continue smoothly. Therefore, husband, if there is some problem in the family, they can solve that problem wisely. Today, so many problems in the family. Finally, those problems end up in massacring. Sometimes husband massacre wife, wife massacre husband. In other words, husband kills wife, wife kills husband. So many problems. But if they have wisdom, those things would never happen. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, these are the 4 factors Buddha explicated to Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita to develop in them if they want to meet again in the next life as lovers. Therefore, today, what I want to emphasize to you in selecting persons, partners for your life, you have to see these 4 qualities in them. What are the 4 qualities? Samasaddha, equal unshakable confidence to the Supreme Buddha. If one believes in the Buddha, he will not do bad things, unwholesome things, demerits. So he is a very good person to get married. And secondly, samasila. Then if he practices virtue, then he is a very good person. She is a very good person. Therefore, no problem. And thirdly, samachaga. If one give things away, if one is generous, then he is a very good, he or she is a very good person to get married, because there are no family problems, because both the persons can do merits getting together. And finally, wisdom. If wisdom is there, all the problems can be solved very easily, because wisdom is a weapon. Wisdom is the very important thing. Therefore, these are the 4 factors always we have to consider about getting married, in getting marriage, in selecting a person for your lifetime. Then if those persons, if those qualities are there, Buddha mentioned to Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita, you can actually be lovers in the next life too. So they have innocent aspiration. Buddha did not look that down upon. Buddha helped them. These are the 4 qualities that you have to practice. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, this is a serious problem today in the society, the family problems. If you want to solve these problems, you have to treat the root cause first and foremost. The root cause is selection of the partner. How to select a partner according to this methodology expounded by the Supreme Buddha. So may the Triple Gem bless you. Akasatta Bummata Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Buddha Sasanang. Akasatta Bummata Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Buddha Desanang. Akasatta Bummata Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Tang Sada. May you all be well and happy.